So here we have the original order form. So name Eric Clapton, and we can see here as well on the SKU number the designated EC. Hey everyone, and welcome back to one final consignment update before the auction that takes place on the 5th to the 8th of December. Most important thing is the catalogue is now live online. So today is the 17th of November. So if you are watching this video much later, this piece of information is irrelevant. But you can view the catalogue in two places, guitarauctions.com and auctions.gardinerhoulgate.co.uk. Big auction, 5th to the 8th of December, with over 700 guitars, over 100 amps, loads of pedals, lots of spares, audio studio gear, including artist-owned guitars and equipment, and much more. So have a look at the catalogue there, and of course on the Friday of the sale week we also have more musical instruments if that floats your boat. So what we're going to do today is we're going to have a quick look around things that have come in since the last consignment update that we feel are worth previewing here. But we will be back next week with a big sale room tour, so we'll go through some things that have been on previous consignment updates, but it will give us the opportunity to look around the whole building and see what's on offer. Essentially 700 guitars under one roof, so that's going to be one good video. So let's get into it. Like I said, catalogue's online. Please remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on that sale room tour, and of course the video demos that will be coming as well. They'll be coming next week. So like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for those, and let's have a look at what we've got coming up. So as you've probably already seen from just the camera in the background, we are starting to lay the sale room out. Not quite finished yet, so some things are already out in place ready for viewing. So you've got a little sneak preview of what the sale room will be like. You may see some rubbish lying around on the floor because we are in transition. There's a lot of setting up to do. But first one to feature, a Squier, but crafted in Japan Vista series, very high quality. This is the Jagmaster, just a very good Japanese made guitar. I mean, even a Squier on the headstock, and there's nothing wrong with a Squier, especially the modern ones and the earlier ones. It's just on par with, I think, most MIJ Fenders from the 90s period. So yeah, a nice offset Jagmaster. Maybe some people would say the pickups are a little bit weak, but upgrade them and you've got a good old rocking offset. And sticking with offsets, here is a Japanese made, a crafted in Japan serial. So one of the later ones, so Candy Apple Red with matching headstock, incredibly good quality and very well regarded guitars. Nice to see a different pickup configuration on one of the traditional bodies. So Telecaster body, this is a Fender special run made in Mexico 2018. So you've got a more Strat type bridge on this Telecaster body with the two humbucker pickups, and also you've got the back contour as well. So yeah, a more comfortable guitar. I guess a bit more for your higher output guitar tones, but yeah, Fender special run FSR, so you don't really see many of them around, and a nice thing. And sticking with HH spec guitars, a made in Japan Fender, and this is the Fender Boxer Stratocaster Boxer series. So they have this metallic silver paint, got the coil switch here, volume tone, three-way switch, and I love the black matching headstock as well. But again, a really well made Japanese Fender guitar. Didn't make them for that long, so their value has gone up already. They're not even that old. I believe they're only a few years old, but a good thing. Talking of modern Squiers that are good, so good in fact I have one myself. So for fans of Biffy Clyro, this is the Simon Neill Squire Stratocaster, and the pickups are quite clever in the fact that they have a mixture of magnets, I believe Alnico 5s and 3s, which gives you a lot of bass on the bottom 3 strings and a lot of clarity on the top 3 strings, which I guess is perfect for what Biffy do. So yeah, it's very much after his go-to Strat Fiesta Red finish, based on his early 60s Strat Fiesta Red finish with the mint guard. You've got his facsimile on the back there. But these are very, very, very good guitars. And again, I'm always saying it with artist associated guitars, these really have gone up in value, because I bought mine for £150 and they're now changing hands for, they can change hands for in excess of £400 or £500 now, so depending on where you get them. So even though we're not looking at the astronomical scale that some of the Gibson custom artist collector's choice guitars can change hands for these days, it just shows that even on the lower scale, anything artist associated that eventually gets discontinued tends to be a good option for investment. So this is just a 1995 American Standard Telecaster, but it has been upgraded with everything to make it sort of a modern deluxe specs. You've got the noiseless pickups, S1 switching, pearl guard, locking tuners. So someone obviously had a American Standard and fancied a deluxe upgrade and did it themselves. So yeah, all that extra for potentially less money. And here we have another pair of Japanese Jaguars. I'd actually forgotten how many we've got in this sale, because we've got some previous lots as well, including the ones we've just seen. So this one in blue with the matching headstock, again, very good condition, nice thing. And if you just want the standard rosewood board with the Olympic white, which is one of my favourite combinations on Fender guitars, then we've got this Jaguar here. I believe this is a slightly earlier one. Yep, so you've got the made in Japan rather than crafted in Japan, so these are the earlier ones. In my opinion, they're both as good as each other. I think because the made in Japan ones were made on the whole a decade earlier, there seems to be more collector's value, but it can only be an age thing, so I don't think there's any quality difference whatsoever. This is an interesting thing. I actually sold this guitar in pieces about 3 years ago, and someone was part way through making a B-bender guitar. So this is a composite guitar, so it's Nashville spec, but you've got the Parsons Green B-bender, which does work. There we go. So essentially it's a Fender Deluxe neck with the locking tuners. It's a B-bender body. We've got an upgraded Glendale, USA Glendale bridge, the Nashville spec with the 3 pickups, and the B-bender as well. So that is your country Telecaster spec guitar. So we have a non-original Jeff Beck Stratocaster. So this one is from the early 90s, around 93. It has had a MIDI pickup at some point that has been taken off. You can see the old holes there, an old Roland GK2, I guess. And you will see that these pickups are not original. These are Joe Barden pickups. So Joe Barden, I believe the Danny Gatton models, model pickups, but they are Joe Barden pickups with the rails there. Very good pickups actually. But yeah, Jeff Beck Strat, big neck. One of the best finishes, the surf green finish, love it myself. And yeah, if you want a high output or a higher output Jeff Beck Strat with a big chunky neck, there we go. So on our last consignment update, I think we featured a lot of Les Pauls, and we said we've never had so many Les Pauls in a sale. Well, we've got even more now again. So after that consignment update, we had another collection that was full of Les Pauls, so you're going to see a lot of Les Pauls now. So this is a Les Paul standard. This one's from 1993, which some would say is a good period. The early 90s, I believe generally 90s right through to the early 2000s was a very good period for Gibson. And this is in a wine red finish. You can see it's been loved and played. With the buckle wear on the back, it's usually a sign of a good guitar when the thing's actually been played, rather than kept in its case and not seeing the light of day. So I do like that. I mean, in general, I think guitars are meant to be played. They're not meant to be kept away. I mean, I know that I do mention investments and things like that, but yeah, these things are built to be played, and there are a lot of people who would obviously prefer to buy a guitar that is in mint condition. There's those that do love relicking. There's those that love natural relicking. I think generally, if you can sit in the camp of natural relic guitars, it's almost a good thing, because if you are buying the guitar as being an instrument, you can usually tell when an instrument's good by the amount of wear it's got on it. Because if at the end of the day, if an instrument's not good and comfortable to play, you're not going to play it, and therefore it's not going to get worn. So usually played to death guitars are great, are like that for a reason.
Just don't do a Jimi Hendrix and play it so hard you set it on fire.
Exactly. But you know, I don't need to tell you guys that and what to look out for. But yeah, good Les Paul standard. Moving swiftly on. This, I believe, from memory, is an early 70s Les Paul, so it would have started out as a deluxe. Now, I'm going to just put a caveat about what I'm going to say here. I've catalogued so many guitars, I'm almost doing this from memory. So look at the catalogue description on this one. It's lot 165, and you'll see the full lowdown where the information will be correct. But from memory, this is a humbuckered Les Paul Deluxe. I'm saying that because the standard didn't really come back until 74, 75-ish, when they started doing them as custom orders. 76 it became an official model again. So they were making the Deluxe up to that point. So the Deluxe was almost the standard of the Les Paul line. So this is early 70s. We do have I think it's a 74 Gibson Les Paul we have in the sale with true humbuckers, and so it is a true standard, which would have been a custom order. So it is a very rare guitar. So have a look at that one earlier in the catalogue. But this one, all sorts of issues. It's been refinished. It's had the volute taken out. The whole neck's been refinished. The pots, I think the pots are the bit that date it accurately for us, but it does have a nice pair of Gibson humbucker pickups there. I believe they're paint and stickers, so they've gone to the effort of actually sourcing some nice pickups to go in this guitar. So yeah, I think a nice bird's eye maple top as well. Nice thing. We had one of these in the last auction that you may have seen on a previous consignment update, and it's one of the guitars that I was very I think I gave a good review of, because these mid-70s Melody Makers, so this is a 75 Gibson Melody Maker double with the double pickups. They are much better than the original 60s ones as an instrument. So if you want a 60s one, in my opinion, you're really only buying it for investment, because on the whole they were obviously entry-level guitars. Some people do love the original ones, but I think these ones are better. And when 70s guitars get a 70s Gibson with the Northern era, and same with Fender, everyone just tarnishes them with one brush, that they are not good. And some people will probably not like me saying this, but I've played more, especially Fender, I've played more good 70s Fenders than I have pre-CBS ones. So,
how could you?
Yeah, I know.
I can hear the the torrent of comments coming already.
Some of them may be heavy, but I only play in my bedroom anyway. So, but yeah, I think just in general, and it is funny as well how a lot of people who are selling guitars are now quickly changing their tune now that the early 60s stuff has rocketed in value and it's harder to come by, and therefore there's less opportunity for a reseller to sell them. And now a lot of the same traders are now waxing lyrical about 70s guitars and saying how great they suddenly are, whereas 10 years ago they were saying how poor they are. I'm not one of those people. Maybe it's just the era that I grew up in, and the guitars that I've always had at my disposal. But yeah, I think the quality control did go down, there's no doubt about that, but I think in general, as long as you play a guitar before you buy it, that's one thing, and you're happy and you're comfortable, then go for it. In terms of playing a guitar before you buy it, I understand a lot of you won't be able to actually come view the auction. You're all welcome to the public viewing, you're welcome to come down to the sell and view before, but if you can't, me and my glamorous assistant behind the camera, Chris, we are both guitarists, and we will give you a very honest report. If we don't think a guitar plays very well, we will tell you. So always ask. You ask for a condition report, ask us how it plays. We'll be very honest. Sometimes we might say, just need to set up. But
I always recommend having it set up anyway.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of these things have been stored for 10, 20 years, come from estates, so a lot of things will benefit from a setup regardless.
That, and it's a partially subjective thing. You can have something that's objectively set up poorly, but people have different preferences.
Exactly. So I play with an Action so slammed I don't mind a bit of fret buzz, for example, and a lot of people would hate that. So, but anyway, we can give an honest appraisal of what we think a guitar plays like. So, we only want happy customers, never want disappointment. What's the point? No need for bad reputations. So, yeah, mid-70s Melody Makers, they are very good. This one's in good condition, cherry finish. When I say good condition, I'm allowing for things like this because it is. How old is it? Quick maths, is 50 years old nearly. So yeah, I can't believe it's 50 years old. There we go. More good old things. So I guess this is almost, most of you will be more familiar with the Les Paul Studio models, and this was kind of like the Les Paul Studio idea initially, I think, just more stripped down Les Paul. This is of course the Firebrand, or the Paul. There we go, the Firebrand Deluxe. So it's just a stripped down, full-on rock machine, I think we say. So
just call it the Les Paul.
Yeah, that would be better. Yeah.
Surely the Paul.
They were really missing you in the branding department back in the 80s. So this is from 82, I believe. 82 or 83. There's a bit of a smudge over the serial number. So just a natural mahogany body. We got the big old bridge on there, which some people don't like the aesthetic of these. I guess toaster bridges. Yeah. Original pair of pickups there. But just a good all-round guitar. Probably one of Gibson's less popular models from a similar period from the last guitar we've just looked at. So this is a Gibson Sonex 180 Custom. So I guess this is the top of the Sonex run. They had the Sonex 180, they had the Deluxe and the Custom. So this one has had its neck refinished. The hardware's a bit chewed up. In fact, I think the whole thing's been refinished, just looking at the body there. Yeah, no, the body's been refinished as well. But original pickups, it needs a bit of TLC, oxidized frets. But they're okay, they're a bit heavy, they're bolt-on, which is probably a big part of the reason people don't like them that much. But just a I guess, a fairly cheap way of getting into the Gibson Les Paul type thing. And here is a Deluxe, and gosh, that is heavy. This has its serial missing because, I mean, the whole thing's been refinished, and obviously the neck's been refinished and the serial's gone. But I'm going to say that this, just based on the weight alone, pancake body. So we're talking later 70s. Have a look at the catalogue, lot 161. I'll be more accurate there. But this is a Les Paul Deluxe. You've got the mini humbuckers, very underrated pickups, great pickups. But you can see this has just been modified. I love weird modified things. So you've got all sorts of options, all sorts of switching, and there's even an active pack in the back as well, circuit board. And the control cavity's been widened. This whole thing needs refitting properly. I don't think the electrics quite fit, so it does need some work. But it's just a wild thing, isn't it? And I think the finish is actually quite nice. Most of you have come across the Nighthawk and Blueshawk models. This is called the Hawk. So it's a very stripped down version of those guitars, the same body shape. They didn't make them for that long at all. I believe they only made them for 1 year and didn't make many of them, so you can hardly find any of them around. But again, it's kind of like, I guess, the studio model of the Hawk series. So just nice and simple. BFG, and that is really light. So this is from 2007. You will see that it has been modified. So essentially there would have been a switch here, and another pot here, and the switch has been moved down here, and there's a kill switch. That's a really nice weight. Really like BFG.
They're really nice. They're really nice. Wow.
They are nice guitars actually. You know, you have this sort of textured carved maple top in the charcoal finish, exposed pickups, which I think Eric Clapton once came out and said, pickups with their covers removed give more treble. I don't know how true that is. My ears would never pick it up, and most of your ears would never pick it up, especially for all of us who now look at everything on social media and hear the audio through our phones anyway.
No, I really like BFGs.
But
the one Les Paul I don't have that I would really want.
Yeah, BFGs are great. So you heard it there. This is Chris's.
I'd actually say it's probably my favourite Les Paul, the BFG. I wish I bought one when I had the chance.
There you go. Merry Christmas. So this is a Gibson SG, and it would have been a special, but it's been converted to standard spec, and it hasn't been done very well. So we have got some Gibson pickups in here, so that's a plus. But you can see where the guard's been adapted and doweled. This guard has just been rashly installed. It's had some switches, it looks like here. It's got a neck brake. I mean, even starting from the factory, it didn't see a good life, because I mean, the way the serial has been stamped is very shoddy. You've got one number that doesn't even line up. So yeah, it's a project, but a good 70s project. It would have started life as a very nice guitar, if you like the skinnier nut. But yeah, it's had a life and needs a better life. So I'm sure one of you will give it that. So this really does fall into the category of one of the most disastrous Les Paul or Gibson models, should I say. From 1983, this is the Gibson Les Paul Challenger 1. The 1 because of the single pickup. Obviously a 2 would be with the other pickup, but they just kept the same guard for the lot. And yeah, I mean, they just were not popular. Never caught on, didn't make them for long. Again, bolt on neck. I guess as long as it plays well, which I haven't tried yet, there's probably nothing wrong with it, as long as the pickup's decent. But yeah, just you won't see them that often around. but you can pick them up for under £500 usually for a vintage Gibson. Firebird Studio, so just a stripped down studio, and not necessarily a lesser guitar than the standard ones. You just got this rounded body, more round edging, and yeah, less fancy inlays, less fancy neck in general, but still a very good guitar. So a Gibson Firebird Studio. And if you don't want one of the Firebrand Les Pauls, here's the SG. So this is just in good condition, natural finish again. Buckle wear, we can forgive that, it's 45-ish years old. This is from 1979, this one. So one of the earlier ones, original T-top pickups. In fact, that might be a replacement Damasio. Have a look in the catalogue, lot 154.
I'm pretty sure it does say T-top in bridge and a replacement Damasio.
Yeah, so there's a Damasio there. Original T-top Zebra pickup here. But apart from that, it's all right. You've probably seen in previous Instagram posts, if you follow us at Guitar Auctions on Instagram or Facebook /Guitar Auctions, or just search Guitar Auctions at Gardiner Houlgate. I posted this and we are huge fans of this. So much so we've even done a video demo of it because Jack was amazed by it as well. So this is an NCG Bayou and made by Andy Avison at Nottingham City Guitars. He happens to be a good friend of the company, which is not why we're featuring this at all. I would like to add that this is not a sponsored post, but Andy, I saw him not long ago, and he showed me this guitar, and I just thought, God, I love that. I love graffiti yellow guitars. So this is actually called Vandalism Yellow, so it is essentially just the
that's towing the line, isn't
yeah,
it?
Exactly. But it's been lightly relicked, and the amazing thing with Andy's guitars is all of his hardware is all made and designed in Nottingham, where he's based, designed by himself, made not far from him at all, and it's basically made out of aircraft billet quality aluminium. So essentially it cannot warp, it cannot bend, and the way it's treated, it naturally ages as well. So over time it will start really showing a nice patina, as it already has. And yeah, as soon as I saw it, just because of the yellow nature of it, I was very, very taken by it, and it's just a phenomenal guitar. Just playing it, I mean, Andy really knows how to set up a guitar as well, which helps. But you've got a Monty's Leviathan pickup there, of just simple volume tone, really good quality hardware, and yeah, Andy does make these guitars. I thought it would be a great thing to feature in the auction, so we thought, why not? Let's put one in the auction, and I think essentially you can get one at a better price than direct from him, which he's okay with, because it's seeing a whole new audience. But if you can, do check out his guitars. He makes various different models. He even makes some, I'll try and feature them in a future video, but he makes some very, very inventive guitars using aluminium bodies, which, he's not the first person to do it, of course he's not, but he does make a very, very good guitar, and I'm sure you'll see a lot more of them in the future. But this is a very new model from him, and watch out for that video demo. It's a fantastic instrument, it really is. Probably one of the best boutique guitars I've had the pleasure of playing in recent years, and we've played quite a few, and like I said, I'm only featuring this because I think it's a fantastic guitar.
And Jack.
Yeah, and Jack and Chris. Now this is a really sweet thing. Some of you will have seen amp guitar sets before. I've never had one of these though. I've had many of the Silvertone ones, But this is a lovely thing. So this is an airline, so it's a 3/4 size airline, and just look at that. That's really cool. And it all works. This is a tremolo switch actually, which doesn't work. So you've got a little tremolo wiggle stick in there. But nice gold finish. And isn't that just sweet? With the amp set, a busker's dream. Just need your step down transformer. Don't often feature Hofners, but this is a Hofner Solid, the 173 model. Rare thing about this is the wrap. So it's in the black and white wrap, and you really do not see many of these at all. So this is an extremely rare example. Most of them you see are in red, and this is in, yeah, very, very good condition. All looks original from here. Proper tuners, got the correct knobs, scratch plate, bridge, Hofner Super pickups, and I think they look really, really cool in this white and black wrap finish. Just in case you missed me opening the cases first for the magical surprise, have you ever seen one of those before? Not many of you will. So this is a Gretsch, a lesser spotted Gretsch, and as you can see, it's a neck through design solid body, very much like the Japanese guitars, probably of a similar era actually. So this is called the committee model. Now it would have had originally, which we still have, the scratch plate, which does give it a smoky guard look, and you can see the original holes have been filled out, and you can see there's a bit of where the UV is faded around. But that's a cool Gretsch solid body. So not just hollow body guitars, but solids as well. Good Les Paul copy. An Orville Les Paul standard. So Orville had a license, or were making guitars essentially in Japan for Gibson with their blessing, so they could rightfully use the Les Paul name. So this is a very good Les Paul copy, just a Japanese quality Les Paul copy. So some would say better than the American thing. Your early Yamaha guitar. So I'm pretty sure this is late 60s, could be into the 70s. This is the SA30 model. It's kind of their 335 kind of thing. Very lightweight, good Japanese quality again, and with the original case. You don't see many of these cases survive. Cool thing, an original case. This is a Silvertone sort of Harmony Factory Jupiter model. These are getting a lot of love in recent years because they have the foil type. I mean, these aren't gold foil, but they are still foil pickups. Lots of switching options, control options. I'm forgetting what I'm saying now. It's been a long week.
It's a Friday, isn't it?
It's a Friday, and it was catalog deadline getting together week. So finishing, we've done it anyway. There we go. In the black gold flake finish, and it's even got the original case. Forgive me while I open this. It does need the strings sorting. I've had this apart recently. Now this isn't going into December, this is going into March, but I just saw it on the floor and I thought, well, let's show you all, because it is a cool guitar. It does have some condition issues, but it's a 62 Gibson 345, so it has had some changes. I mean, you can see straight away the bridge and the stop bar. I'm just looking now to see if it's ever been converted. I haven't actually looked at this guitar over in its entirety yet, but you know, this is just me commenting on the things that I've seen already. It's got some refinishing work, replacement tuners, but that's a cool thing that will be coming up in March, so watch this space. Already got some great things coming in for that March sale. So if anyone has seen one of these cases before, I'd be really interested to know about it. Basically, the model they were for and the period they were from. So it's Gibson on the outside. It's the first Gibson case like this I've ever seen. Gibson logo on the outside, and good quality case with a really nice guitar inside. So again, apologies, this is for the March auction. just again walking past it, and it's another 345. So very similar age. This is from 61, and it has original PAF pickups in. So those of you who swear by the PAF pickups, there they are. Nice bit of checking on the body. So the body finish is completely original. The pickups are original. I believe one pickup's had a cover off at some point, but the bridge pickup's actually never been touched. All the solder looks good. The hardware is good. The neck, however, has been refinished, and it's not been done that well, unfortunately. Tuners have been replaced. The worst thing about the neck is the board's actually been over lacquered, so they've done the whole Rickenbacker thing. I think some people will say that's a bit unforgivable, but anyway, it's, apart from the neck and fretboard refinish, it's original, and obviously the tuners, as I've already stated. But yeah, I'd be really interested to know if anyone has ever seen one of these cases before, because I've never seen one. I've been around doing this for 15 years, which isn't even, was nowhere near as long as a lot of people who have been doing this for probably over 50 years. But in all that time, I have never seen one of these cases, and I'd be really thrilled to find out if anyone has seen one. So please do comment if you've ever seen one on your travels. I'd love to know about them. Going back to things that are in December. So this is one, came in very late entry. This is a Hagstrom Scandi, so made in Sweden from the 1970s, and you really don't see many of them around. This is the first we've ever had. We've had many old Hagstrom models before, and these are very well regarded. They didn't make many of them, and this is in very nice condition indeed. These are very good 335 copies, but the main reason I'm featuring this is because, according to the seller, this was used by a young Matt Bellamy at a pub gig in Torquay before he was famous with his Muse fame. So there it is. There's no hard provenance, there's no photographic evidence, it's all word of mouth, but a guitar that Matt Bellamy has left his DNA on. So I will let you muse over that one. Oh. Chris Cornell 335. So you have the good old mixture of a very well built Gibson Custom 335 with the Filtertron pickups. These were actually made by Lola, these ones, for the Chris Cornell model. The Soundgarden singer, sadly no longer with us. Soundgarden, amazing band. I'm on a bit of a grunge spell myself at the moment, so I've been listening to a lot of them. But this is a Chris Cornell model. They only made 250 of these, as it says on the guitar itself. This is in the matte black finish. They also had the olive finish. So this one in the matte black. I believe the olive finish had a Bigsby, so you had the Bigsby on the olive ones and the hardtail on the matte black ones. But this essentially was bought by the owner as a bit of an investment. He's kept it unplayed. We've got the original shipping box. Through storage, it has got some light oxidization, which will come off. But it's a good guitar. They are very good guitars, in fact. And if you like the Gibson Filtertron thing, and you fancy a bit of an investment with a limited edition artist associated guitar or artist model guitar, then there is one for you. Last but not least for today, and some would say a highlight.
Find that last latch.
Just get that last latch. There we go. A single pickup Gibson R4 with artist provenance.
And it's not Jared James Nichols.
It's not Jared James Nichols. So this was Eric Clapton's. Quite topical at the moment because Julian's auction, very good auction house in America for selling memorabilia, they have just sold Eric Clapton's psychedelic SG guitar for $1.2 million, eye-watering amounts of money, but very, very iconic guitar from his early days, used in cream, of course. But what can we say about this one? Well, how do we know that it was Eric Clapton's? Well, I shall show you. I'm just going to pop this down.
I'm going to go grab Eric.
Yeah.
Here he is. He's just
So here we have the original order form. So name Eric Clapton. And we can see here as well on the SKU number the designated EC. Now we've also checked with Gibson, and this is a legitimate document. So we have checked with our own contacts within Gibson. The previous owner did their due diligence as well, and it has been confirmed that this was made for Eric Clapton in 2005 to his specification. Also interesting, it's on the 500 account, which is it's a special account basically for this kind of artist order. So our contacts have confirmed this. Now the story goes that Eric Clapton, at his Crossroads Festival in 2003, bought or purchased there a 2003 Gibson Custom of this spec. So it was a dealer ordered guitar that Clapton liked the look of, just a single pickup P90 R4. Anyway, a couple of years later, or quite a few years later, that guitar came up for sale in 2011 at Eric Clapton's own Crossroads auction, and the footnote in the catalogue confirms where and when he bought that guitar. Now it is believed, and this is only from what I have researched and been told, it is believed that the 2003 guitar that sold in that auction that he bought at his Crossroads festival, he didn't like the chunky neck on that one, and also it was a little bit heavy. So here is the order form, and he has asked for a 1960 slim taper neck and a lightweight mahogany body. Now I guess the thing with Eric Clapton is very much associated with Stratocasters that would have had slimmer necks, so it almost makes sense that he would have desired something of that nature. And then he says all other appointments, apart from obviously the single bridge pickup, all other appointments to be typical of a 54 Les Paul Gold Top reissue. So there we go. What did Clapton use this guitar for? We don't know. He might not have used it for much. He might have just generally played it. And we don't know how it ever came to market. All we do know is that this was 100% confirmed to us by Gibson, made for Eric Clapton himself. So that is Eric Clapton's 2005 Gibson Custom R4, made to his specifications. So it's an incredibly rare model in its own right, being a single pickup R4, but also it's got that artist provenance. So a very, very rare piece indeed. So there we go, ladies and gents. Thanks for tuning in once again. Please remember, if you love this kind of content and you want other like-minded people to see it, subscribe to our channel, like the video, and hit the bell icon. And especially if you want to be the first to know about the saleroom tour that will be coming next week and the video demos. So a lot of these, a lot of the choice pieces, we have video demos for approximately 20 guitars. Worth looking at. My favourite in particular are the 56 Les Paul Custom and the Zematis. Both those guitars sound absolutely killer. So really looking forward to you being able to see those. So the auction is the 5th to 8th of December. You can view the catalogue now online, guitarauctions.com, or the best site probably to go to now is auctions.gardinerhoulgate.co.uk, because that's where you register to bid. So you can view the catalogue, ask for your condition reports if you're interested in anything, register to bid, and then you'll be armed and ready for the day. You can leave commission bids, you can bid in the room as well, And public viewing, of course, is on the 1st of December, Friday the 1st of December, and Monday the 4th, and then the morning of the auction, which is Tuesday the 5th for guitars. 4 days worth of auctions. You can see the rundown on the catalogue information, so have a look through there. Just under 1,500 lots to cast your eye over. We really look forward to seeing a lot of you at the sale itself, but if you do have any inquiries, please do give us a call, send us an email, and we will set you up ready to take part in the auction. So it is the final auction of the year. If you're thinking of selling things in the future, we've got another sale coming up in March. Consignment deadline for that sale's coming up early February. You will have seen the big long video of the 150 guitar collection that we had. That was a very popular video. We will be featuring them in March, and that means that probably the next consignment video you see will be featuring the rest of that collection as well. So again, hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on that. With a bit of luck, we will be pushing that out just before Christmas for you to watch over Christmas. So we will see how it goes. But for now, thank you very much for tuning into this video, and we will see you next week for a big saleroom tour.